An update so big, so amazing, you will want to play Fallout 76 again. Yeah, I honestly think I'd rather eat dirt at this point.
This past week, I got to try the next Fallout 76 update early. Fallout 76's public test server was updated, this finally adding in the quest content from next month's Skyline Valley update. This is dropping at some point in June. As of right now, we don't know an exact date, and this update genuinely is a big one, as it's the first update that's expanding the map of Fallout 76.
Look at the enemy just standing there, and this is Juicehead we're talking about, okay? He is trying to cherry pick the most best looking stuff that he has recorded. And even he can't find a situation where there's more than one enemy and they're not bugging out and doing nothing. That's amazing.
A completely new region is added to the south side of the world with Skyline Valley. A few weeks ago, this aspect of the update went into testing so you could explore the new locations and even do the 2 new events, but the quest content was only just added, and yeah, you're going to want to pay attention to this one. I'm not going to be giving away any major spoilers here, but I gotta say, this quest content is fantastic. I think it's probably complete trash. I think this is just Fallout Bethesda fanboy cope. Last time, we made a video about 76, and I called it bad, and I said that, well, I just played it for 1 hour, and then I gave up and deleted it. People were instantaneously in the comments, aha, you only played 1 hour? How can you tell a game is good or bad if you only played 1 hour? Well, first of all, I have played Fallout 76 for a grand total between 40 and 70 hours. It's just that a week ago, I downloaded it, and I only managed to survive 1 hour in it before I wanted to end myself, okay? Because that's how bad the game is. Oh, okay, you have played it maybe for more than, 20 hours, which is the appropriate amount, but you played it wrong. Then that's the next level of argument. What do you mean I played it wrong? What did I do wrong? Was I not supposed to go around locations and do stuff? Well, you see, you actually need to do this quest, then you get a good gun that one-shots everything. Wait. So, the game is only fun when you get a weapon that one-shots everything because the combat is so bad. Yes, that's exactly right. Man, the amount of crazy excuses Fallout fanboys are willing to create, either it be Fallout 76, either it be the Fallout TV show, are just wild, okay? You didn't play enough. Then you played wrongly. Did you actually play 100% of the game? No, seriously. The third level of argument is, well, you didn't do every single piece of content in the game, so how do you know if you actually like it? Bro, if I do one piece of the content and I want to end myself, then that means I'm probably not going to like the rest of the content. Especially when my biggest complaints about Fallout is not actually it's actually everything, I guess. Because my complaints about Fallout 76 is that the gunplay is abnormally trash, the shooting is abnormally trash, the lore is boring. When you actually have dialogue interaction, you don't want there to be dialogue interaction because the dialogue is so poorly written and so long and it's just a giant exposition dump that's made in the most poorest way possible that you don't actually want to listen to it. You just want to skip dialogue. In other games of Fallout, you don't want to skip the dialogue because you're interested in what the NPCs have to say. But in 76, everything that NPCs have to say is so bad, so trash, so horrible that you just want to skip it faster because it's just poorly written. For a lot of Fallout fans, is going to be the thing that finally gets you to reinstall Fallout 76. And for me, this new questline was some of the most engaging content this game has gotten since Wastelanders, because it finally feels like we're getting a proper Fallout story from this one. It's not just another Brotherhood of Steel quest. As Fallout 76's new Skyline Valley update will be a story surrounding the Vault 63 dwellers. This quest kicks off by you finding the Vault 63 door shot halfway across the map, and as you return, you'll now find an opened Vault 63 that is inhabited by ghoulified Vault 63 dwellers. And these ghouls definitely have a bit more going on. Their farrels explode into static, bloody builds beware, this will damage you, but also has some pretty cool visual and sound effects to go along with it.
This is the worst effect that they have ever added. On a technical level, yeah, it's actually cool. Actually, like, a good idea, strangely enough. But on a technical level, how they actually made this look, disappointment and sadness as always.
But side by side with the pharaohs will also be regular ghouls who can use ranged weapons against you, which makes the Lost a fairly difficult fight. They can both sprint at you to explode, but also shoot you from afar. And these enemies being interesting actually matters, because after some discoveries at Vault 63, you'll be led to the newly added Skyline Valley region. And the devs really did a great job at making this area feel completely distinct. You're going to find the Lost all throughout this new area, and the fact that they're both tougher as well as a more interesting enemy does go a long way to make the exploration feel a bit more interesting. It's not just a bunch of Scorched or Raiders. This portion of Appalachia genuinely feels distinct compared to the rest. In addition, there's going to be some totally new mutated turkeys known as thrashers scattered throughout, and perhaps the single most defining feature as you walk into Skyline Valley, you'll notice the weather change with this wild storm taking over. And this really was one of the parts of the DLC they nailed. You really are just going to the south side of Appalachia, but it genuinely feels like you're being transported.
You know how Fallout New Vegas had an orange tint to it? You know how Fallout 3 had a green tint to it? Well, here's red tint, because you probably are going to enjoy that. There you go.
To a totally new world and region. Shenandoah is a real-life national park, and that is well represented here, with several notable locations from real life returning in the DLC, but even this introductory quest has you walking along Skyline Drive. This is pretty cool, because it's exactly what you would do as a real-life visitor to this park. The weather here also has
God, I love the spurging out. Oh, this is what you would do as a real-life visitor? Okay, does that make it interesting? No? It's like the people who are saying, well, the Fallout TV show was really faithful to the lore. Did you see it? It had power armor and guns that looked like they were from Fallout. Did they? Did they actually? We didn't see half the guns, and most of the time the ghoul was shooting. we saw two actual replicas of already existing guns from Fallout series, and the ghoul's unique one, which is BS. So there you go. It's not make anything make sense.
A major presence. You'll notice lightning striking the ground, and this isn't casual. It'll command your attention as it'll shake your screen, but also is just very loud. They really did a great job with the effects and sounds throughout this entire DLC. And early on, as you're just approaching some of these early quests, you really feel like you're in a horror game. This DLC does a great job at establishing an atmosphere. It feels like you're walking into a new and kind of scary world where you don't know exactly what's going on. And don't worry, I'm not going to ruin what's going on for you. This one feels very distinct compared to all of the past Fallout 76 DLCs, and honestly I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, and many of you will as well. The Skyline Valley quest content is completely Fallout 76. It's the first time we have a vault opening outside of our own Vault 76 opening. You'll be introduced to the ghoulified residents of Vault 63, as well as their Vault Overseer. These characters are super compelling and interesting. I found for me, this questline
I completely doubt that Bethesda is capable of writing anything even remotely close to fucking interesting at this point. There is no way.
Immediately sucked me in because it introduces a lot of curiosities. Why are these people all ghouls? What's going on with the weather? And why does the Overseer look like this? But it'll take the process of going through the questline and getting to know some of these characters more, and even exploring the vault to get some of those answers. And the Overseer here is probably my favorite character from the DLC overall, and really one of my favorite characters from Fallout. He gets very philosophical.
If you were to repair a ship by replacing it plank by plank, piece by piece, so much so that
it's Theseus's no, is it Theseus's ship? How is what's it called? It's one of the paradox things. If you replace every part in a thing, is it still the original thing or is it a new thing? And if you would replace every part in a thing and then from those old parts make a new thing, would the new thing be the original old thing, or is the old thing still the original thing? Well, I mean, shit. Wait, let me try to find it. Google. Oh wait, don't need to write Google. List of popular paradoxes. Let's see. What do we have here? Paradox of. Oh, here it is. All the paradoxes. Pinocchio paradox, Fermi paradox, paradox of friction in space. You can literally find what this guy is referencing just by googling a list of paradoxes. That is absolutely amazing. Wait, I want to find out what's the actual name of this paradox. I forgot what it's. Ship of Theseus. Oh, it is the Ship of Theseus. Yes. This is the Ship of Theseus reference. God damn, someone tried really hard to be smart here.
No single piece of wood from the original vessel remained. Would you have a new ship? Or would it still be the original, only improved?
Early on, he'll ask you some moral questions. You'll later realize how this parallels some
Wait. We can't skip this. We had a +10 intelligent. The Ship of Theseus! Not easily answered, I'm sure you know. Yeah, that's what someone with brain damage would fucking answer. The point of this question is not to answer. Well, it's actually a complicated question if you think about. Fucking dolts. Literal brainless morons.
You'll later realize how this parallels some other conflicts you'll have to deal with over the DLC, but some of these questions are genuinely difficult. It really reminds
God, if you're playing Fallout 76 because you're bored and have nothing to do, I get you, I understand. I actually almost want to, again, re-download it and play it because, well, Phase 3 Season of Discovery is kind of super fucking boring, so sometimes I find myself just with nothing to do and I'm really desperate. I understand if you're that kind of player, but I don't understand the people who are playing Fallout 76 and they're unironically trying to sell the idea to themselves that it's a good game and they're not eating slop. I play bad games constantly. Most of us do, but most of us have the common amount of self-courtesy to actually admit to ourselves that, yeah, we're playing shitty games. But there's nothing better to do. If you're playing Fallout 76 because you have nothing better to do, that's fine. I will maybe actually even rejoin you again. But I have absolutely no problem saying that a bad game is bad even though I'm playing it. There's nothing wrong with playing a bad game if you're super bored. It's fine. Just admit it's a bad game. But some people are going to go head over heels that this is amazing.
Reminded me a ton of Far Harbor, and I was enjoying some of these prompts from this overseer just as much as I was enjoying some of Dima's prompts, which I think is a massive praise. And the DLC is really fun as this gradual unveil. You'll be going through various sections of Vault 63, which is absolutely massive, the biggest vault ever created, and as you're exploring it, you'll find many different wings that'll give you background information on the vault via terminal entries, notes, or even just visibly seeing what kind of experiments they are conducting. But then you'll complement all of this background information with dialogue or notes from the major characters as you're completing the quests. This DLC definitely introduces quite a bit of new lore for Vault.
By the way, this whole vault thing is that they actually are trying to retcon that ghouls always turned feral over time. That's what they're trying to retcon.
76, but they also did a great job at giving you a ton of optional dialogue choices to really dive into that and find out what is going on here. And while Vault 63 and its dwellers truly are the cornerstone of this story, finding out what happened to them, why are they all ghouls, what is the lost, and what's the solution for all of this, you will also just be working directly with some of the Vault 63 inhabitants. There'll be some side quest and content you could do with them. It's technically a part of the main quest, but it's really more of a side activity. Although, thankfully, this questline doesn't only look at the Vault 63 dwellers and also ventures into some of the other uniquely Appalachian factions. The local government gets involved here, although I don't want to talk too much about that, and even the Mothman cultists have a natural way to connect to all of this. It's still not a full-fledged Mothman cultist DLC like many of us want, but it's definitely the closest.
No one wants a Mothman cultist DLC. Fallout 4, by the way, went almost completely the way of the occult at this point. Cthulhu mythos, Lovecraft's, blah blah blah, all of this garbage. They have completely almost went the full-blown way of, this is no longer a nuclear apocalypse, this is Spooky Mansion Part 3.
Closest we've had thus far, and hey, you even end up with a new Mothman cultist outfit, which I think looks pretty fantastic. And I think the reason many of you are going to love this one is twofold. On one hand, it's just more interesting than most of the other Fallout 76 DLCs in its subject matter. Even just the first 30 minutes, you'll notice this one really feels like a Fallout DLC instead of just a Fallout 76 DLC. It'll suck you in with an interesting, compelling story, and if you felt some of the past options were amiss because of how basic their storylines were, this is going to be the one you want to try. This update's different than those. But also, I just think the writing is really good here. The Vault has a compelling mystery that you're going to want to uncover. The Overseer is genuinely interesting, and I enjoyed conversing with him pretty much at all points.
What is the compelling mystery of this vault? The ghouls are lightning? What the fuck?
And as you're progressing through the questline, there'll be a variety of twists and turns that will keep you interested in wanting to find out more. A lot of the time, it felt like the responses I wanted to give during the quest were the dialogue choices available to me. I felt well represented and like I could roleplay to some degree. And the fact that you do get answers for a lot of things made this questline feel very satisfying. There definitely could be a part 2 on the way, but by the end of this one, I really felt like I had a good idea of what's going on here. And over the course of this questline, you will be faced with some major and difficult decisions.
Bro, the glitches are insane.
There were times where I genuinely didn't know what to pick, and you'll see
What do you mean you didn't know what to pick?
the consequences of those actions, and some of these get really dark. Although with all of that said, this questline still is...
What is it gonna be? Okay, what can it be? I'm assuming he's talking about like a choice. Do you kill the feral ghouls or not? Knowing that they were human once. Dun dun dun. Is that gonna be it? Is that literally going to be it? Because if that is a hard moral choice, no, it's not a hard moral choice. Hard moral choices do not come from situations that you don't know anything about it. If I tell you pick between who dies, person A or person B, and you have no idea who is person A or who is person B, you might as well just reply at random. We actually need setup for things to matter. Hard choices are not created in a vacuum in gaming.
Isn't perfect. As much as it feels like a Fallout DLC, it definitely still is a Fallout 76 DLC with its own quirks as a result. It almost reminds me of Cyberpunk 2077, where yes, you can make some major choices around the
Okay, I want to read what this
outcomes of
says.
certain quests.
I don't believe that any of these choices are going to even be impactful. Travel through fluid handing to... Yeah, this is probably some kind of soup that allows ghouls to regain consciousness or whatever. I don't know. But you get the point. It's not going to be anything impressive. It's not going to be a hard choice. It's going to be, hey, do you want to save these characters that you don't know anything about or care about them? Or do you not want to save these characters? And if you do want to save them, do you not even feel bad about the fact that you have been killing them all this time? It's gonna be so bad.
And really towards the outcome of the questline overall, but the day-to-day stuff, the individual quests in the middle are fairly linear. Like sure, there's dialogue choices, but there's really only one that's progressing things. And while for many players, you'll have a distinct ending because the different endings between this one are very distinct, but the path you took to get there will be pretty familiar. You'll probably go on a similar journey to many of your friends. Thankfully, that journey is quite enjoyable, and there really isn't all that much in the way of side quest content. It's really just the main quest line. It is a decent length though. This quest line will probably take you around 3 to 5 hours to complete depending on how deeply you dive into this content, but honestly I think that's fine. One of the reasons I think this update overall will bring so many of you back into the game or even into the game for the first time is we're getting content for just about everyone. The new questline is great. I think a lot of you out there will play and really enjoy this one. It feels like more Fallout content. But even beyond that, we are getting these 2 new events which directly tie into the contents of the questline and will make a lot more sense after you beat the quest. One of these is a new boss fight. It'll be triggered by nuking this region, but if you want to know what this weather control machine is and even what these epic robots are, it's going to be fully explained during the...
I actually want to hear the explanation for this garbage, because I want to just see and feel how bad Bethesda is at making storylines.
The questline, and otherwise you may be a bit confused as to what's going on here. And the same goes for this other newly added event. You'll be charging up power stations and fending off against the Lost. For a long time with Fallout 76, we've been getting quest content in one update and then actual event content in another. It's really nice that we're finally getting this all at once, and it feels like we're seeing a considerable bump up in the amount of content from this update. This is a pretty sizable update that adds in a ton of very enjoyable content, but also a bunch of new rewards.
If you're by the way, if you're thinking that this is kind of staged, that he's using watts to shoot every shot, no, it's not. Again, the gunplay is so bad in this game. Using watts to shoot literally every shot is probably the best thing you can do.
There'll be several new weapons added in by this one. Some of these are just new weapons that you have to unlock via completing events or grinding, but also over the course of the quest, you'll get some pretty powerful uniques granted to you. So there'll be a special skin as well as a fixed set of legendary effects, and some of these are very powerful and can be very handy with an appropriate build. In addition, there's going to be several outfits as well as a variety of new
I love how people are saying there's builds in Fallout, and no, dude, putting in a couple of golden cards that say deal more damage at X, take less damage under wise circumstances. If you call that a build, I don't know what to say, Chief. Okay, it's kind of over for you.
camp objects added in. So with all of that in mind, I really think this—
If you think Fallout 76 has builds, then I also think that you most likely have problems at ordering at McDonald's because there's too many options for you to pick from.
this could be the update to get a lot of you to return to Fallout 76. We're finally getting a proper Fallout story from this game, and between the quest content, new events, and all of the other content you probably missed over the past couple of years, you very well may end up spending a good—
Anyway, that was Juicehead. Absolutely love this. Fallout 76 never ceases to amaze me. Bye-bye.